Welcome to Periodically Elementary, the podcast that brings big-ticket chemistry topics to young scientists. I'm Vanetta Grant, your host and CAPE chemistry teacher. This is the first episode in our Industry and Environment series. Today, our panelists will be discussing the factors which influence the location of an industrial plant and general safety requirements for industry. To learn more about the content in this discussion, be sure to visit www.epa.gov and be sure to join our community discussion and tell us which factor you think should rank highest when locating an industrial plant. Welcome back. I'm joined today by Jay Dale, Hazel Oxy, and George Unanuga, all industry insiders. Hazel, I'll start with you. What are the geographical factors that influence your choice of location?
Well, we need to remember that different industries require different inputs. Industries are more likely to locate where these inputs are easy to obtain and cheaply available. Factors that influence where an industry locates include communications including transport, a reliable power source, telecommunications, labor supply including workers with the right skills, access to markets where the goods are sold, grants and financial incentives usually from governments, and raw materials if I may add.
Don't forget that terrain is often a huge factor. You want flat land because it is usually cheaper and easily allows for expansion. Easy access to transport also means it's cheaper and easier to get your raw materials and finished products from point A to B. It works out better for your consumer and your profit margin at the end of the day.
And what about water?
Oh, we can't leave that out. Water is often required for various cooling processes. Washing fibers in the textiles industry is a must.
Jay.
I'd also add climate. At certain time of the year we have the monsoon rains, so the possibility of flooding, wind damage etc. must be considered. In India, we're also trying to reduce our carbon footprint and reduce pollution of our water courses, so access to waste treatment is also important to us.
We now want to explore how the non-geographical factors influence your choice of location. Jay.
Well, access to capital is a huge one. Modern industries are capital intensive and require huge investments. Capitalists are available in urban centers. Banking facilities are a close second for me. Establishment of industries involves daily exchange of enormous sums of money, which is possible through banking facilities only. So the areas with better banking facilities are better suited to the establishment of industries.
There is a constant fear of damage to machine and man in industries for which insurance facilities are badly needed. So insurance is important. I would add that government policies in terms of government activity in planning the future distribution of industries, for reducing regional disparities, elimination of pollution of air and water and for avoiding their heavy clustering in big cities, has become no less an important locational factor.
We now have the emergence of footloose industries, those that are less dependent on factors that tie them to a specific geographical location. Unlike manufacturing industries, tertiary or services, companies do not have to be near a source of raw materials. As long as they have suitable transport, energy and communications links, they can locate themselves virtually anywhere in the world. Examples of industries are computer software development, telephone sales and call centers.
As you know, our podcast is geared towards chemistry students. So, how does one stay safe in the chemical industry? George?
Label everything clearly. Potentially save a life by properly labeling all chemical containers. Chemicals often look alike, even to an expert. High on the list would be to offer training and resources. Don't assume employees know what to do to prevent or respond to chemical spills. Train all incoming employees thoroughly on standard operating procedures, covering a variety of chemicals. And of course location. Regularly assess the location of all chemicals. Verify that containers of chemicals do not sit near other chemicals they could adversely react with.
Also, cleanliness is next to safety. Keep workstations clean and organized to prevent accidents. Wet floors promote falls. Cluttered work areas encourage inadvertent spills or mixing. Also, I have my people designate a location for food and drink. I forbid eating and drinking around the work area to prevent workers from accidentally ingesting chemicals. And of equal importance is creating a chain of responsibility. Have a clearly outlined chain of command to respond in the event of an emergency.
Jay, would you like to add anything?
Practice, practice, practice. Practice safety procedures for emergencies. Next, give new employees a language course. Too often, the jargon used by employees around chemicals may seem like a foreign language to new hires or transfers. Confusion and mistakes happen when workers cannot understand each other. Last, keep safety gear in sight. To keep employees away from exposure, safety gear needs to be worn when in the area.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Periodically Elementary. You've been such great listeners. Thanks to our panelists for the glimpse into how industrial plants are located for operation. These are tips any of our students can use if they want to start a small-scale synthesis business. Today's episode came to you courtesy bbc.co.uk bite-size guides, manufacturing.net, and Smitri Chand of yourarticlelibrary.com. Be sure to join our community discussion and tell us which factor you think should be assessed when locating an industrial plant. See you again next week when we discuss how that aluminum foil got into your home.
bensound.com